Hey, Tony, we're back. Another
back.
episode.
Awesome.
How are things going?
They're going well. As you probably know, it snowed a couple times. There was supposed to be a couple times where we were supposed to hit some golf balls, but that just didn't pan out. So that's
Yep.
kind of been the week, just locked up inside the house. How about for you?
Yeah, same for me. Got my last final here. I guess tomorrow. And by the time this episode gets released, I'll be back in spring classes. But after that, I get a nice little 5-day break, hoping that the weather stays as is right now, no more snow, and I can get a couple rounds of golf in. So that's the plan anyway.
5 days. Actually, you know what? Like, better to have a break than not, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah. Better than 0 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So today, what are we doing today, Tony? What's the episode called?
So today we're going to be talking about soup innovations as well as soup gadgets. A family member from the Hamitos had mentioned, hey, we saw this thing at a Korean store where it was like a self-heating type of soup, and I think it would be really good to have on your show. So we did a little bit of hunting, and then we decided, hey, let's talk about some things that, also incorporates what soup is about, different texts for soups, and yeah, that's kind of what the episode's all encompassed about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm excited to try this self-heating soup that was recommended for us. Unpackaging the box, it says it gets up to 120 degrees Celsius. So we'll see. Hopefully that's safe to eat. I don't know.
There was a couple people who said they've had it before and they said it's really good. So I say we start, going through the instructions and building this thing.
Yes.
So to preface it, we purchased this from TNT. So if you guys have a TNT in your city, they sell it there, but I'm sure any Asian grocery store has it. As you can see, there's no English other than the ingredients in the back. So we had to pull from trusty Google to get kind of chopped up English-ish as to what we're supposed to do. So let's start this off. It says, take the lid off, take out the vegetable bag, instant rice bag, seasoning bag, and food special heating bag for use, which I think this is what warms everything up for us. So you got that done?
Nice.
Cool. Next is tear open the vegetable bag, instant rice bag, and seasoning bag, and put it in the upper square box. I'm going to assume it's this one.
Yeah. What does it look like?
There's a couple of I'll put it in this camera as well. Mushrooms. Bamboo shoots, it looks like. So
okay, going in.
That's crazy how fresh this looks. It's kind of scary.
What is going on?
Well, okay. I'm gonna guess this is the rice bag, the silver one. So let's pop that in.
Okay.
Oh gee, the rice. Oh shit.
Oh no.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Rice is good. I'll get as much as I can on there. I completely spilled it all over my desk, so just take caution when you open that silver bag.
Yeah, the convenience in this thing is a little questionable at this point. Just a bit messy to be doing on the go,
Just a bit. What's funny is they say 1, 2, 3 bags, but I'm seeing 4 bags. So I'm gonna guess that this has to be the seasoning bag, this orange one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I managed to get most of the rice in the right one.
Okay.
And not around the sides.
This seasoning smells delicious though.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna be a disaster.
So got that going. Vegetable bag is in, rice bag is in, but also up and around the computer and the table. That's what it is. Did you open up this bag?
Yeah, I threw that in. It was like, it looks like some sort of like shredded carrots or something. Maybe
Okay.
kimchi. Smells a little bit spicy.
Okay. Imagine, oh my. Okay, fuck it. Why not? This, like, you are right. It's looking kind of full. I have a feeling that this green bag, okay, yeah, sure. So now it says we need to add water up into the water injection line, not past the edge of the upper plate. So I guess what's cool in here is, did you see that they give you some chopsticks in this thing?
Yeah, they like you screw them together or you like put them together.
So nifty. So maybe use that to, squish it down a bit, because it looks like it's kind of overflowing.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we take the water and we put it pretty much to the top. Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, my tray is very full.
My tray is super full. You can only imagine if you got all your rice in there, how full it could be for you. Maybe mix it around a little bit. Okay, cool. Now, what we need to do, it says, tear open the plastic package of the heat generating packaging for food and put it into the lower box. Add cold water to the water injection line. All right, here we go. Kind of pointless to have this tray in first.
Yeah,
Okay.
I loaded it up outside of the main one.
Good call.
Okay. Heating pack.
Here we go. Cut this open. Pop it in.
Pop it in.
And then pour water on it.
Pour water on it. Just up to that line there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
put the tray of food in. Okay, like so. And then cap it up with the lid. And it says within 10 to 15 minutes, it should have done its thing. So
all right.
we'll cap that
That's
up.
exciting.
If this ends up being super delicious, sky's the limit. I saw so many different flavors for this thing, from spicy beef to sea urchin, which I don't know, maybe one day, but right now it doesn't feel hot yet.
Oh,
So
I'm getting sound.
you're getting sound.
Oh yeah, it's steaming.
Oh, I can hear yours. What the heck? Okay, maybe I got a default. Like, okay,
I'm scared.
effective, I mean.
I think my hole is just plugged up.
I'm gonna put this down here. Okay, so I guess we'll wait on that, and you guys will kind of see what's going on. We have some live footage for you as well that you'll be able to see if you're tuning in on
YouTube.
Is that your? Oh shit, that's my end too.
Yeah, yeah. It heats up pretty quick, I guess.
That was maybe what, max 2 minutes, give or take. The bottom's feeling a little bit on the hot side, so okay.
Yeah, it's warming up for sure. Okay.
So give that a little bit.
Yeah, in the meantime, while we're waiting for this fancy self-heating soup to do its thing, why don't we talk about some of the other inventions in the soup world that we looked at this week.
Cool. Here I can start off. Obviously,
Yes,
we
do.
have such a love for instant ramen, instant noodle. And I don't know if you know this, but it was actually created in 1958 by a man named Momofuku. It's actually Momofuku Ando from Japan. And I'm sure you've heard of Nissin Foods. They're actually the makers of Cup of Noodle.
Oh yeah.
So created instant ramen in actually just post World War II. And the reason why he made it is because Japan was going through like an economic downfall. He wanted to make something that was reasonable in price, as well as was accessible to all people of Japan, which is pretty cool. And actually, back then, a bag of ramen cost about 35 yen, which in equivalent to Canadian dollars, it's actually just 40 cents. So just imagine that, like, you created this thing, you did it just before or just after World War II, and it kind of explodes. I tried to find some stats on how many variations are there, but there's just way too many.
Yeah.
Just because it's been westernized by Mr. Noodle. There's other brands like Sapporo Ichiban and so forth. And yeah, a fun fact too is this Momofuku guy, after he invented it in 1958, he actually ate, they say, he ate a cup of noodle pretty much every day until he died until
Wow.
in 2007. So that was a little bit interesting. Like I said, it's a staple in my
Yes.
pantry and I think also
Yep.
in yours.
Mhm.
So it's pretty cool to kind of dig into that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I don't remember the last time my pantry didn't have a pack of instant ramen. So this guy has been feeding me for years, I guess. I had no idea who he was. It's pretty that's pretty cool. That's a
Legendary.
yes, legendary. Yeah. Big impact on my life and just learned about him. Sweet.
Yeah. Cool. What did you
All
learn?
right. My invention goes back just a little bit further than that. I was, just generally looking at like the history of soup inventions, and the earliest invention that I could find that was probably specific to soup was the bowl, like a bowl to cook soup in.
Hmm.
And first sort of like artifacts and remnants that they found is about 20,000 BC in
Oh,
China,
okay.
and they think that it was used to make soup like this. I guess like it was a big kettle, just um, and they base that off of the markings on the inside of it. I don't know. I don't know how they can tell that, but whoever dug it up and did the analysis looked at the markings on the inside and guessed this is probably used to make soup, which is, again, I don't know how you can do that, but very, very old.
That's so sick. Like, again, with kind of my background, to know that when people looked into these things, they like researched, hey, like we see a bunch of markings inside bowls. What does this mean? Right. And to kind of come into a conclusion of that, and you said what, 20 BCE?
20,000 BC.
20,000. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think so obviously these things were made out of stone.
Yes. Yeah. Or they would like dig a hole and line it with like an animal skin or something like that. And they would actually they would like put rocks on like a fire and then just throw the hot rocks in to boil this soup.
So very similar to what we're doing right now.
Yeah, exactly what we're doing. So maybe this isn't as fancy as new as we thought. It's just exactly back to the roots.
Like modernized version
Yeah,
of
hot
what it
rocks.
was back then. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's really nifty. I had a feeling that it generated and derived from Asian descent. I saw that too. Like I was researching a little bit about the bowl and spoon and whatnot, and I did see a little tidbit about that. So okay,
Mhm.
cool. Well, I'm gonna fire one back at you and go. This actually was just invented in 2002 by
Wow.
it's
Recent.
called hot cans. So also as we were creating this episode and figuring out what we're going to talk about, um, we had a conversation around these self-heating cans, and it was actually created in Malaysia. The company itself is called Hot Cans. We were trying to find some for today's episode, and they're nowhere to be seen. And I can probably see why that's the case. Probably some sort of danger or hazard. But some things that I pulled up for the mat, the chemical that they use, or the chemical reaction that occurs for that, is they actually use something called quicklime. Do you know what quicklime is? Have you heard of it?
Nope.
So the chemistry name of it is calcium oxide. And when calcium oxide reacts with water, it actually creates steam. And that's
Mm,
what they use to warm up the soups. What's cool about this company is they also did hot beverages. So if you wanted a latte on the go, or a green tea on the go, they had that. They also had like mushroom soup. They had cream of tomato soup on in there as well. And the theory and concept was genius,
yeah.
but I started to find that as I was researching it, videos kind of dropped off after like 2000 and like six. Like it just died. No one talked about it anymore. So then I was trying to research, like, did someone have, issues with it, or
Yeah.
someone die from it, and nothing was seen. But I did find that the company was rebranded as, instead of hot can, they call it hot cans, and it's in the UK. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna order this stuff. But then I looked
Yeah.
at the menu and it was like bangers and beans. Uh,
Very
uh
UK.
yeah, like chicken curry.
Oh,
They had
yeah.
a couple pastas in there, and I was like, this has no relevance to soup. But again,
No.
idea, concept, pretty sweet. Can't complain.
Wow. That's
This thing is bubbling. It's
yeah,
going. It's
it
going.
is. I'm scared to touch it. I think that 120 degrees Celsius might actually be true.
It's it's hot. The bottom is hot. It's hot as hot.
Yeah, it is.
So
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, mine, I don't know. That's funny that the soups kind of went away, but maybe that's just because, like, what problem does a canned soup self-heating itself
there was
cause?
um there was a part where I was watching some guy testing it on YouTube, and he said that the temperature that the can needed to be at was very finicky. Like I can't remember the temps off the top of my head, but it was like if it was in room temperature, it was ideal. But let's think about it. If you're going to take this can, you're probably going to take it camping. You're probably going to take it, like, if you're in Canada out in the cold, or even in the States, probably in cold weather, because that's probably when you want to use soup or eat
Yep.
soup.
Yep.
But it was like, wasn't ideal for those temperatures. So it was
Oh,
almost useless, right? At
yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reason why someone probably started to warm it up in really cold weather, and it maybe burst. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's my theory around it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That would, like, if you're at home, you just heat it up using the stove or whatever. You wouldn't need the self-heating mechanism. So
Exactly. Exactly. They had some like plastic lining to it too, because the guy said if you drank it directly from the can, you're guaranteed to like burn your lip. So I have a
oh,
feeling too that that probably went hand in hand with maybe some legal battles that that company went with or went through.
yeah, dangerous and hard to use. That's not a good that's not a good combo if you're trying to sell something.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right. So I guess following that up, I'm going back. I went and looked at the spoon. My inventions were very very borderline. I honestly haven't used many of the new soup things. Like, I've never heard of hot cans. I've never seen the self-heating soup before. So just in terms of like the things that I've actually used to eat soup is very limited. So I looked at those things, which is a bowl and a spoon. And you know, considering that they found bowls like way back in the day, 20,000 BC, I thought spoons would be around there, but
Yeah.
I guess the earliest artifact of a spoon that could be found was in ancient Egypt at about 1000 BC. But I'm assuming that they would have had to exist before that because people weren't going to like scoop the soup out with their
Not
hands. Like,
necessarily though. Like 'cause if you think about it, um, if it's in a bowl already, all you need to do is just slurp it,
that's true.
right?
That's true. Yeah.
So is it really necessary to have a spoon? But
Yeah.
to think that it was what, like 19,000 years after they were starting to find artifacts on a spoon. That's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
yeah, yeah. And so these spoons weren't even used to eat soup, eat anything. They were like ritualistic spoons that were used more for, I guess, just like rituals and other things like that at the time. And then it wasn't until I guess it got westernized and moved over that it became like sort of a utensil that you actually used to eat food
Mm.
in sort of the
Mm-hmm.
medieval times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, when it got westernized and it came over, it became like a symbol of wealth, as sort of all like ritualistic artifacts do when they get westernized. It's like, oh, kind of new fancy thing.
Yeah.
So if you had a spoon, that was like a sign that you're pretty
Well,
powerful, I
yeah.
guess. You're like, look at this thing that I have that
Food
you
is
don't
what
have.
it is.
So that's where spoons started and came from, kind of ritualistic origins as far as known origins anyway. But yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting that I guess people were either they were using small bowls to scoop it out of the big pot that was used to cook everything, or
Yeah.
they were just scooping it out with their hands, some sort of maybe wooden spoons, because those things probably wouldn't last very long, like if they
Yeah.
were making spoons. So yeah, the earliest recorded artifact that they could find was 1000 BC in Egypt, and they were, I think, ivory or slate, and not used to eat food.
Cool. I gotta admit, it's essential. That's for sure.
It's
We need it
essential.
when
Yeah.
we eat soup. Sometimes when I get a bowl of soup and there is no spoon, I'm like, this is weird, but it happens. Like, I think there's a couple of Japanese restaurants up and around Calgary where they'll just serve you the bowl and you just kind of drink it from the bowl. So cool.
Just yeah,
Cool.
it's not bad either.
Yeah. Now, if we're talking about gadgets and gizmos, I wanted to actually show you something that just came about. I'd say in the last 2-3 years. It's something called the Super Cubes. Have you heard of
Oh,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So these things are friggin' fantastic. They're silicone molds that are great for leftover soup. Let's face it, when you're making a pot, you're making a ton, and I don't know. I have no problem eating soup every single day after making one big pot. But some people like, you know what? What if I'm able to freeze it and eat it another day? This does a trick for you. So what's cool about Super Cubes is it was actually created by a mom and dad that had this chicken broth recipe that was passed down from their parents and their grandparents. And what they did is they took the ingredients from that broth and instead of putting them just into mason jars, they created this. What's cool is it does come with a lid. There are different sizes. This one that I'm showing you is a 2-cup mold, so 2 cups in each. But
Mhm.
they do also come in 1 cup style, quarter cup, as well as a half cup. And I think even just recently they came out with like molds for cookies too, which is pretty cool.
Really?
What I like about it is because it's silicone, if you pop it out, you can just put it into a plastic bag, put it into the freezer. When you want to eat it, put it in the microwave, you're set and good. And it's oven friendly too. So if you want to bake directly from it, you can.
Oh, wow. That's
Definitely
very cool.
recommend. Yeah,
Yeah, that's like cool for like meal prep too. Like if you're trying to you make a big pot of soup, you want to portion it out over the week, but you don't want it just sitting in the fridge. So you got like some fresh ingredients or something in there, freeze it, good to go.
freeze it, pop the lid in, you're set and good. And it's you can buy it on Amazon, but they also have it at William and Sonoma. So if your city has that store, they carry these in stock. So I was pretty amped to see it. I saw it on Shark's Tank,
Yeah.
actually, I
Oh,
think middle of last year, and they caught a deal with one of the sharks, which is pretty cool. So
nice.
that's my other invention.
Wow.
Okay,
Technical difficulties there.
yeah, geez, what's going on here? Let me just make sure that we're set and square on here.
Yeah. Well, my soup is no longer bubbling, so I think it'd be a good time to take the lid off and see how it goes.
Okay, let's do that here. Um it's mine's still steaming. Yours is done making sound?
Mine's silent.
Okay, do you? I'll
All
join
right.
you in a bit. Fuck, that's hot.
It's so hot. I can't take
It's
it.
so
I can't take it.
hot. It's so hot.
Uh-oh. Come on. Okay, there we go.
Now, a question for our listeners is, this style is a hot pot. And there's some people who are saying that they actually don't drink the broth from hot pots. They just use it just to dip their meats and their veggies to cook. So I just wanted to add, like, again, I'm going to drink this, that's for sure. I want to taste all the flavors in this. But just curious from you guys that are listening in, do you drink the broth from a hot pot? We kind of know what the standard is, but we're just curious to see if you guys do or not. So let us know just in the description below or in the comments below, sorry, because we're just kind of curious to know. How's it,
Yeah.
Seamus, on your side?
Um, I I'm thinking I might have messed the order up of adding these ingredients because the flavoring is kind of like sitting on top still. So I'm just
Okay,
trying to mix it in.
okay, okay.
Uh,
I think
definitely
we're at
it's
what?
just
I would say we're at like 12 minutes in.
yeah, I think it's
Okay.
good. I think it's good to go. I'm gonna take a couple bites here. I don't know. Try some of the veggies. This is a veggie flavor pack. It's just
Yes.
we don't know what veggies still. Again, there were no English instructions, and unfortunately, I don't speak any other language or read any other language fluently. So
I think it like all I noticed after I ripped the pack was bamboo shoots and I think some sort of mushroom in there.
yeah,
I'm scared. Like I'm gonna open this right now, and I feel like it's not done. Mine's still making noise.
yeah, I don't know. Mine's good to go, but there's like very little water left. I think the rice soaked all of it up. So I wonder if that was supposed to go in there as well, or if it was just supposed to be the veggies and then do the rice kind of on the side.
Again, from the directions, it said put everything in there. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Take a couple first bites. Let me know what you think.
All right.
Yeah. Well, shoot, I want to join it. Like, yeah, if you're looking at the camera, it's like freaking the seam is everywhere. Fudge.
It's hot. It's yeah.
Okay,
You're good. You're open.
I'm open. We're good. Okay, mine's still making noise. You don't have broth?
Huh?
You don't have broth in yours?
I got none. I got rice. That's
Okay, I think you're right. Maybe I like. Do you see the
your
broth?
yours is a proper soup. I don't even know if I could call mine a soup, Tony. Like there is
Yes.
essentially no liquid in here.
Okay, before we close out the episode, take a picture just so we can kind of see. But I guess yeah, first few bites. What do you think?
It's it doesn't taste bad. It's spicy.
Okay.
I don't know what the veggies are. I don't think I've ever had them before. I don't mind it. I kind of wish I had some broth to taste. Um, yeah, I think it's just because I messed it up. I can't give a proper review. I have no idea. This is definitely not how it's supposed to be.
Like yours is dry.
Uh, Pretty dry. There's a
Huh.
little bit of like oil from the flavor packet, but that's about it.
I am going to say that there's for sure supposed to be liquid.
Yeah,
Mine is starting to disappear a little bit. I'm just gonna. That is spicy.
it's very
But
spicy.
very nice. Would you recommend this? Would you get this again, you think?
I'd get it again just for the novelty and because I want to actually taste it. That's why I would get it again. The flavor is pretty good. Pretty good. Um,
There's
I
your
would rank it above hummus soup for
okay.
sure.
Okay.
Uh, Definitely.
Seamus,
Um,
your people. That's a
your
potato.
potatoes. Wow,
There's potato.
I'm honored. All right.
I I'd have to agree with you. This is better than hummus soup for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get it again, maybe in a different flavor, but I'm sure even after I eat this, I might even get the same. I'm not
Mhm.
really, I'm not picky, right? So if you tell me that these are supposed to be vegetables, I'm probably just going to eat them, knowing that hopefully there's nothing bad in there or nothing, died in there. But yeah, I like it. The first couple bites, I'd say pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think so.
chops-
I think, like I said, I'd get it again. I did with the chopsticks. They're okay. There's a lot of like if I had broth, I would want a spoon because the thing is really hard to pick up. If you guys are gonna try it, um, if anyone's gonna try it, you should definitely get a little uh, hot pad or something to put the actual container on. It needs to be like a heat resistant surface for it
yeah,
gets pretty. So
yeah, I definitely have a cork board under mine just because it would for sure go through this plastic that I have on my table. That's a given. But okay, as we're enjoying this, let's go through some coops. So again, coops are submission of questions from you guys that we've been getting throughout the last couple of days. The first one that I saw is just from a past episode. Someone on YouTube mentioned in episode 4, the troop soup. You mentioned a gift from a friend. What was that gift, or did I just completely miss it?
um, oh, I thought yeah, the gift was the soup, like that we tried, the crab soup. It was great. That's like I mean that's a gift to me. If somebody comes and gives me a soup, I would definitely consider that a gift. And it like I said, it made my week. It was a pretty busy week for me, and just having somebody think of you and drop this. It was really good, the delicious soup off. Yeah, that was the gift.
Yeah.
I loved it. So
I figured as much. I was like, I don't know what this person's really saying, but we'll make sure that it's clear after today.
yes.
Cool.
All right. So the second quote that we got here. What soup are you making / would you like to make next?
I think for me, I'm going to say just recently I've been seeing a lot of roasted red pepper and tomato soups. So like
Oh, yeah.
blended soups. So I think that's probably next on my docket for what I want to make. I did want to share just quickly though that when I met up with Seamus a couple of weeks back, that famous turkey soup from his grandma that he constantly talked
Yeah.
about in episode 1. This one right here got a bowl and it was fire. It was so good. So thank you so much for that, Moose.
I'm glad you liked it. That's yeah, like I said, it's one of my faves. Just growing up having that every like opportunity I
Christmas.
could, I would always go over to my grandparents' house after those big turkey dinners and then just essentially watch them cook the soup, sit there waiting, and then like you get a bowl right fresh out the pot. It's the best. Yours was a little left over, but I hope it was still good.
Oh, so good. So good. So what would you make next? Or yeah, what soup are you looking to make?
So I've recently made a French onion soup, and I would like to try and make that again and see if I can, refine the recipe a little bit. I enjoyed it. It was very good. So yeah, that's been one of mine. That's a couple of my siblings. When I told them about this podcast, I was like, "Yo, what are your guys' favorite soups?" And a few of them said French onion soup.
Oh
And
yeah.
my dad used to get French onion soup every time we would go out for dinner. And so I wanted to make that and give it to my family, see if it could stack up to any of their faves.
Cool.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's what I've got on the docket. And then hopefully maybe we'll feature it in an episode if it's deemed good enough to for you to try, Tony. So yeah.
We'll do some trial runs prior to until you perfect that thing.
Yeah, perfect.
The next one came through a couple of days ago as well. Actually, yeah, about I'd say a week ago. Do you guys agree with this pub in Derry? It had a sign out front. Again, you'll see it below here, and it said something about Guinness being a soup. So, do you think that a pint of Guinness qualifies as a soup?
Um, I love soup and I love Guinness, but I don't think they're the same thing. I mean, carbonated soup, I've never heard of that, so I don't know if I can say yes, even though I love Guinness and it's like very creamy, creamier than most beers. I don't I don't think I would consider it a soup.
Okay. And you're the beer specialist, and you're probably the Guinness specialist over me. I can't really step into that ring of really answering it, but I'd say it's a beer, so it's not a soup. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
cool.
I love that that's still a theme. Like if you guys are still asking us what is and is not a soup. So that's funny.
We're getting in battles like constantly.
Yeah.
I'd say weekly about like, was that a soup? Was it not? It's like one day, we'll maybe
Yeah.
answer it correctly.
Yeah. We'll craft the perfect definition of a soup. It'll be so clear.
Yes.
All right. Okay. The last question, the last quote we got here. So somebody asking, they're not a fan of soups and they have no idea why we love soup so much. So why should they listen in?
I don't know about you, but this is just your Thursday entertainment in a 20-minute episode all the freaking time. There should be no reason why, soup lover or not, that you're not tuning in to listen to us. I don't know. That's just me. Your Thursday, bi-weekly Thursday entertainment should have the Super Troopers in there. But I get it. Soup is not for everyone. So my hope is the reason why you should tune in is A, we're fucking funny. I think. And two,
Pumping our own tires here. Yeah, this is good.
and I think two, like, we don't just talk, well, that's a lie. We do talk about soup, but there are things that you can learn
Yeah,
from this podcast too.
totally. Yeah, that's
Maybe
why that's part of it. We want it to be educational. We want it to be fun. We want it to be about soup. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's just about enjoyment. And if you don't like soup, I'm not going to force you to eat soup, but learn a couple fun facts about the countries and the different kind of histories surrounding the soup and the food from there. Hopefully we can bring that to you guys, and then that'd be a reason to listen in. And like Tony said, well, she's funny, so you got to come in and listen to Tony at least.
no, that's a lie. No, half credit.
Okay.
That's in the contract, right?
Yes, yes. All right, so that's a wrap on this episode this week. An exciting episode coming next week, potentially. I guess depending on restrictions, potentially getting together for a soup. A special guest coming on. Very, very excited to have this person on the podcast. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
And then make sure you guys check out our social medias. If you watch on YouTube, we will post them in the description. But if not, it's on Instagram, Super Troops. And if you guys have any questions for us, Quoops or soups that you want us to try, just DM us there, and we'll get back to you. So, yeah, anything to add, Tony?
I don't want to add anything, but I think we should cut it out there because I don't know if all of a sudden your internet cut out or if I'm just
frozen.
We're good.
No.
We're set. But that's pretty much it. Subscribe. And yeah, that's it. You want to kick it out there?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We love soups. We love you. Stay safe. Stay soupy, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye, guys.